no such language which is specifically for Android. Some people use the Java, some people use some other kind of coding, but there's no official language. The official language for your Android is Java. And guys, why exactly it's important to learn the Android development? It's very important to learn the Android development. The reason for that is because a person who know Android is basically have an option of a mobile development. Basically, the option of mobile development. So mobile development is again the very important job here. Other reason mobile development, learning mobile development is basically what happen is like every single thing you know have some or other apps, right? Everything have their own app. So it becomes important to know the Android development. Android or iOS, but most probably there are more user of Android, and India market is about the Android more, so it's good to learn the Android. So I can say Kotlin is the official language for Android development, and it's ideally through JetBrains. It's very similar to Java, but the syntax is bit different and methods are bit different there. And every new company who is doing any kind of Android development is using the Kotlin only. Anyone who is doing Android development is using the Kotlin only. Now, how to install the Kotlin? Guys, basically, you don't have to install it Kotlin separately. What you should work is you just learn IDE. Like for Java, what IDE people prefer? For Java, people prefer to use some IDEs in terms of like, I can say Eclipse or any IDE like that, right? So ultimately, IDE is the one through which you able to get the code from where you do all the development. And similarly, for Kotlin, you can use Eclipse, IntelliJ, or Android Studio. All are fine. In this demo, I'm going to use IntelliJ. So simply go and say download IntelliJ. Go here. There are two versions, enterprise version or your community version. So try that to pick the community version of your IntelliJ, because this is a free trial, this is an open source, and being the open source, it is easy for us to pick it up. So I recommend to check that open source version of your IntelliJ. We simply download it. So I already have that IntelliJ with me. I'll open that. Let it open. Now guys, here we have option to run the things. So it's good to enable the tips. Basically from there you can learn more, but if you don't want, then you need to enable that as well. I just close it. Now I'll simply go and say new project. So basically what project I want to create. It's a new project. Now guys, they have directly option Java, FX, Android, Maven, Gradle, or Kotlin. I recommend to go with the JVM version of Kotlin. Okay. So let's just say next. Give the app name. I'll say Edu Web, like that. Edureka Webinar. Finish. Now what we'll do is I'll say new window. This is the Kotlin project that created. So let's have folder structure. In this guys, you have .id file. In that, the file extension generally of Kotlin is .kt. Okay, and then Kotlin XML, and you have a miscellaneous file and Kotlin web IML files. Okay. Now, so in this you see that IML file, right? This is the one file that we use. It's very similar to your file that we have in Java, compile, or Maven file. Okay. Now let's start writing some piece of a file and print. So ultimately, with this particular file, we start building. Means this is like a starting to your application. all the file extension will be .kt. Now, so I'll just make in a two base. So we already have the ID and our project is set up. Next, Kotlin fundamentals. Now guys, it also work on the class-based kind of elements. So we'll do one thing. Let's create one file in the src folder and write some piece of code also there. So I have this IntelliJ. We'll bring it near to our PPT. Fine. In the src, there's no such file there right now. We right click and say create new Kotlin file. So it's not a class, it's a file. I'll say my Kotlin. Any extension you can, means any name you can give, my Kotlin. So guys, the file is created and the file name is mykotlin.kt. In this we define one function. To define a function at a keyword called fun, I write name, function name. It can take the arguments args as array and string. Okay. Now, in this, suppose we simply write print ln hello world or the hello Edureka, like this. To run this, it will run in a similar way that other projects are running. So you can simply run this file. So we'll build this, and after build, it will run and we can see in the console. Let's get build. See, do you see? It's a building connecting to the daemon. So basically, compiler of your Kotlin is different from the compiler of normal Java. It's compiled, and guys, it's a hello Edureka. That's how you start with first file, and that's the output of this file. So as we are able to make this, so I'll go back to my PPTs here. Class and objects. Kotlin class is declared using a keyword called class. As of now, we have declared the function, and we can use the class also as a keyword for a Kotlin itself. So next thing, syntax is like this. You have a class have a class name, and inside that you can declare your values. As an example, let me show you. So if I've declared any new class in Kotlin, I'll go back to our IntelliJ. We right click, we'll make a new Kotlin class. Will be a class file, Edureka Kotlin. Guys, it had made one class for Edureka, by the name of Edureka. To define that, we write like this. So it's a class Edu Kotlin, Edureka Kotlin. In suppose here I declare one variable here, right, where Edureka is one variable. It's basically hold the string equal to empty string I have declared here, guys. Empty string. Okay. Now, if I want to use it into my main file, how I'll do? I'll go to my function file of Kotlin. There I write where any variable name Kotlin equal to Edureka Kotlin. See, it automatically pop up. It's a class. I have made the object of this class. Once I have an object of this class, I can use a method from there. Now I can write Kotlin dot Edureka and assign the value. I'll say webinar by Edureka. Okay. Then if I want to print it, I'll say print, right? Output is one syntax is like plus Kotlin.edureka. One syntax is a concatenation using a plus operator. And I print ln here. That's a one way. So guys, I have declared one class and then I am calling that class. Let's try to run this file again. So it's building it. Once it built, it has shown me the output. Let's see. It's a output is webinar by Edureka. See, guys, I'm able to make the class in Kotlin and even get the value of that. Basically, you have two kind of way to declare a variable. If it's about a string or character, you write var. Else, you will write val. Val is basically for your integers. If the data type will be integer, you will use val. Suppose I declare this variable as val. Okay. Now, if I go to my Kotlin, it throw me the error. What the error say? Error saying that val cannot be reassigned. Basically, val is for the value as a number, and whereas I am declaring it as a string, so obviously it will not work. It will work if it not a string. So mainly we declare by using a var or val. If it's a string, use a var. If it's a number or numeric, use val. Next, what is Kotlin object? So object is a real-time entity, guys. Object is a mainly real-time entities. And object is always the smallest unit in the class programming. When we do a class, when we make a class, inside that, the smallest part of that class is object. So behavior represents the functionality of object. There are two parts of object. One is called state, one is called behavior. State represents the value of object and behavior represents the functionality of the object. Then variable declarations. To declare a variable, we have one thing called, guys, variable already declare like using var or val. Other thing in this is called range. Now a range define a closed interval is like a looping. Range is basically, guys, for looping. Range define the closed interval and is defined by two endpoint value, which are both included in the range. So basically, range is mainly used for running the loop over that. Now, for getting that loop done, there are syntax. If I define any array, okay, let's see one more thing. If I go back to the variables, I want to show one more thing first of all before jumping to range. There's one thing called, guys, data type. I'll come back to range and show a practical of that. What will data type it hold? Number, character, boolean, array, and string. Number, character, boolean, array, and string. Number. What is number? So basically, number here is like integers. Integers are basically referenced as number. Then characters. So number have multiple categories. Like integer, like if you don't have numeric, say decimal value, like I'll say 10 is an integer. If a 10.2 is a float. And byte, short, int, long, float, double, they are same as the Java. They are same as the Java have. Then for characters, char 4-bit, name, we have characters. So basically, if a small letter word, you will go with the char. Then basically boolean. Boolean is referenced as true and false. True and false basically reference your boolean. Then array. Array is basically collection of data. How to declare array? Because number, string, boolean is easy, but let's see how to declare variable in array. I can make a new Kotlin file. Okay. Learn data type. Any name. So I run function. main, take args as array and string with a curly braces. To declare a variable in array, write val, say new Kotlin array, any name, or say Kotlin array is colon array, and it's of a type of int, array of type integer. Then write array of specify some values like 3, 5, 6, 8, like that. So first of all, I take a val, name of that, any name, it's an array of integer, and then we'll say array of some values inside that. And here it should be equal to not colon, like this. To print it, we just try, right? Print ln Kotlin array. If I run this file, I can build. Now guys, it threw me one error. It's a unresolved reference array of. You don't know what exactly array of is. When I'm trying to print it, it's not able to print my array. Now, what can be the possible reason for that? As you're writing this array, okay, in this case, to print a value from the array, guys, we have to run the loop over that, because array value are not printed directly. You will run the loop over that array. So okay, if you just try O capital like this, just once try again. Now let's try. Let's see what output we got. Still I am not able to see the output, because you are trying to print an array. Array is like an object, that is why no output. Now if I have to print the output, I'll run the loop over that. How? I'll run this. For I as integer in your Kotlin array. In Kotlin array, and then print I. So I specified that we're starting with a Kotlin array, and here from where to print, it's a I in. In is a kind of one loop we are running, guys. Data is integer and then run it. Let's see. Now guys, all the value from the array got printed. This is like how you iterate over the array in Kotlin. The one thing called guys, the range. Suppose I just want to run some piece of a code there. Now I'll do one thing, I'll make a one more file there. We'll say range test. If start a function main anyways, so I'll pick anyone. If I write here simply, it's not a string, we can give any other thing apart from this. So ideally we write here for if I in 1 dot dot 4, if the value lies in, then print I. I want to check the value which I'm trying to see, is this a part of that range or not. It will consider 1 and 4 both. So it consider 1 and 4 both, guys. Okay, mainly your range is for the purpose of to figure out that value is a part of that index number or not. Understanding it perfectly. So guys, we talk about array, and when you have a longer value of a characters, that is reference, guys, string. So string is basically, as your char is a short values and strings are basically long values. For a control flow, we have if else conditions. So let's just try. If else, for, when, while, do while. If else is normal, for loop again normal, when is like a switch case. If anybody have any understanding of other programming language, we have some switch cases. So it's very similar to like a switch case. Now let's try with if else conditions. And one more thing I'll show you. If I want to replace or set any value, like update any value in array, all I can do is I'll take this array, the one I'm working with. I want to replace some value in this array. Let's say Kotlin array dot set. Give the index number. I'll say on index number 1, add the value as, instead of 5, make it 9. Try running this. Let's see. So guys, your 5 is replaced with 9. Now I'll show one more thing. We have if else condition. Suppose I write where a as int and the value of that is 10. Similarly, I write where b as int and value of that is 6. Right? If a is greater than b, then print ln, say, okay, one more way to concatenate. You know, to concatenate, no, I can write like this also. I'll say $a is then $b. The other way to concat, guys. Else print ln not say past. Let's try running this. It's a 10 is greater than 6. See, it printed 10 also, 6 also. So that's the other way to concatenate in this Java or the Kotlin maybe. It's very similar to any other language. But what we should learn? We learn the syntax of that language. In short, every language is similar. You pick any language in the world, everyone have the loop, everyone have the if condition, while, range, or switch cases, but everyone have the different syntax, and that's what we have to learn, syntax. Now suppose I write like this. I'll say same piece of a code, I'll paste it somewhere else. I'll go back again. I'll take one where a as int, and suppose the value of that is 10. Then where b as int and value that is 6. I want to check if they lie in the range of some value or not. I'll write first of all for I as integer in 7 to 1, then print I. Now, so I should be kept. Let's run it. Let's see what the output is. So every language have their own way of writing a code. So these are object oriented, basically class based programming. So you have to work like this only. Okay. So guys, ultimately, this is how you specify your range. There's one thing called switch case. That's interesting to learn. That's completely different syntax than anything else. So I'm keep on writing this code at some place, and I'll pass you the code also. The switch case, basically called when, is ideally interesting to use. I'll write where number as int and the value of that is 4, suppose. I write where any variable name when in Kotlin is a variable name, so I can give any variable name here as string, then equal to when, that's what we have to make, when I'll pass a number. On the base of number, no, I won't show the output. How it works? On the base of given input, I won't show the output. Like if number is 1, show this. If number is 2, show this. Guys, there we should use the if else condition, where you should use switch condition, switch case basically. when you have something in terms of like one condition and multiple output here, only one condition on the basis of number I want to play. When you have one condition and multiple output, there go with a switch. And where you have one condition, it can be n number of condition, n number of output, go with the effects. Right? If the value of number is 1, then we write any output. So this is the condition, this is the output of that condition. Okay. After that, our second condition, so output is 2, we'll say 2. Else, we'll say invalid input, anything. And at the end, print ln, and then I write output is dollar when in Kotlin, like this. Now to run this file, oh, I run some wrong file. This one I have to run. There's only one variable. Run it once again. Let's do one. I'll have project it find some error, that's why. Now run. Should work. See, it's a output is invalid. Why? Because we have given the number as 4. Give the number as 1 and then run this code. The output will be different. Output is 1. So guys, this is how you write a switch case in the Kotlin. Similarly, due to the if else condition we did, loop we did, while and do while is similar to the normal loop you write in the normal syntax. You write while, condition, and then now. I want to show one more thing in the practical, that is lambda function, and do while also there. And do while, the difference of while and do while is something that whatever may happen, the loop will run at least once. It's gonna run at least once. Okay. Now guys, one last thing for today. Lambda function. What is lambda function? It's a new way of writing the function. Lambda function is the expression as your arrow. With the expression of arrow, we declare a lambda function. I did similar normal function, but the way of writing this function is changed. So let's make something. So I'll pick this piece of a code also, and I'll go to my Kotlin and paste it. Let's work on next thing, that is our lambda function. So I declare two functions and call one function the other function. Let's do that. To declare lambda function is like an arrow expression, right? Like this. I'll say function add numbers. In this, where x as integer and y also as integer. We specify any function name. Suppose I say my lambda. Suppose I write val add as int equal to x plus y, and at my lambda and pass that add. So lambda is like arrow. This is the lambda function. Now what I can do is, in this function I can call it, I'll say val, because the integer. So integer, for integer you can use your val or var, but if you use a val, you cannot declare a string. But if you write a var can have both string and integer. But if you're very specific to integer, then go with val. Arrow, and I write unit. I pass the values inside. I want to pass x, y. So here I'll write a colon int arrow print ln a. Okay, and then I can even call my add number, that's my function name. What will it expect? So I can simply, even though I don't need this line, I write first line not required even. I write x colon 4 y colon, say y colon 9 and write my lambda. That's the function. The simple point is to declare a function. Now you have this arrow, and that arrow is basically reference, guys, lambda. Now the one thing called null safety. Suppose I'm getting that variable and I don't want to define any value to that, but that variable should exist. For that case, we use null safety, and then guys we can have the exceptions. So ultimately, exception is a runtime that occurred during the execution of program. So it has a checked exceptions and one is unchecked exceptions. So in the unchecked exceptions, exception that are thrown due to mistake in the code, that called unchecked. And checked is while building that code, you got some error, that's a checked exceptions, guys. So I think guys we are done. I hope you guys like the session. Bye bye. Take care.